To whom? Breathe. Greetings and salutations. The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
From the desert with a new friend, didn't you, Beni?
What friend? You are my only friend.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Kim is here.
As Egypt. All of Egypt.
Because we're talking about 25 years of the mummy.
Yes, 1999.
Dare the mummy be.
Dare the mummy.
We're about to say that
creeping,
a lot.
Peeping.
They're not very sneaky in this one, though. The mummy's just out right in your face.
Well, sometimes they're sneakies.
Make me spit on my microphone. But before we get into that,
spit on it.
We have a new patron to thank. Sam Poulton, all the way from the UK, has joined our most smartest tier.
Most smartest? Get a look at this. Most smartest.
Welcome and thank you, Sam. Mm-hmm. And if you guys want to join our Patreon, patreon.com/Doom Generation.
Yep.
Get over there.
Where
the mummy be?
Oh, we caught eyes over the microphones like, oh.
Is it time?
It's always time.
It's always time. So,
The Mummy.
I had not watched this maybe in 25 years. Like,
you know, it's like Stargate. Did they not? It's like it's like those little Egypt things. Just Egypt
those
things.
little Egypt things.
Just little Egyptian things, darling. Just gorgeous Egyptian
And there
things.
was at least one cast crossover from Stargate, wasn't there? Isn't
that guy that's
Eric
in every,
Avari?
He's in every Egyptian movie ever.
Yeah.
If
Maybe he's actually Egyptian, and they're like, "Ooh, we gotta have at least one."
Avari.
I know. Doesn't.
I mean, maybe
I
don't know because it's like it's a real place.
In case there was any question, in case you guys thought that maybe Egypt was a fictional place.
We need to again reiterate that Egypt is real,
and that unlike the Bengals would have you believe,
they don't walk any
the
differently.
Modern
there.
Egyptians don't walk like that.
Nope.
And they probably did not appreciate the popularity of that dance.
Not, because that was everywhere. Let me tell you about the stranglehold.
I cannot help myself. When that song comes on, you got to, the hands pop up just immediately. It's automatic. You just activated so many arms across
like Dracula's
the nation
little chicken arms
and beyond.
They like just pop right up.
So, and why not close out Pride Month with the movie that everybody claims on the
Pride Month?
Isn't this? Oh, this isn't the last of June. Second to last of June.
We got one more, baby.
But what has been more memeified is everyone's bisexual fantasy awakening. But the Mummy, I see that meme so often.
Necrophilia too.
They got it all for you in here, babies. They got it all
for you.
They got something for everybody.
I mean, that has nothing to do with specifically.
No. So
that is not part of Pride Month.
No. But we got fine as fuck Brendan Fraser. Did I say it right?
Did you?
Fraser.
Fraser.
I didn't say Fraser.
Oh, no.
Not this time. As Rick O'Connell.
Yes.
Ricky. Our Indiana Jones of the piece, basically.
I have, but he's all of these notes about how his swash be buckling, how his Jones be Indiana in.
Totally, 100%.
How his fucking timbers be shivered. Like it was all.
Oh, her timbers for sure were shivered.
Her timbers were definitely shivered.
So yeah, he plays Rick O'Connell. Rachel Weisz as Evelyn Carnahan.
John Hannah as Jonathan Carnahan.
Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep.
Fine.
Another fine man. Yeah, he's got Billy Zane vibe. Totally.
He's giving you that. There's like a scene towards the end or whatever when he makes himself sand. I was like, ooh, fine.
The last thing you want in your cooch, though, is a man who can turn into sand. You're like, you know what, sir? Actually,
I'm
on second thought, you look fine over there.
Right? I just want to look at you.
Please keep your sand powers away from me.
Dry.
Right?
Dries you right out. Like it's impossible to get wet
Well, and if he's missing any pieces, he gonna suck them out of you.
Oh, well,
Right?
if he already gets all of his pieces, does that mean he got his dick back, or was that always because I
Oh,
wasn't
whose
there?
dick did he take?
Oh,
It doesn't ever say.
Whose
You see
dick
him get
did
what,
he
like a
take?
tongue and eyes, and
I wonder if he took that dick from that Ron Perlman looking motherfucker. Did you see that guy with the jaw? Oh,
was he one of the Americans?
Yeah.
Oh, probably. I didn't clock that
Yeah.
he looked like him though.
I don't know. Just judge. I believe he was the biggest and the tallest. So
Okay.
maybe, but that doesn't mean anything.
A dick of his
A
choosing.
dick of his choosing. He
He
had to
explored.
pee first. He was like, wait a
He
minute. let me-
stayed his sand out in the desert and waited for them all to go
like,
pee in
"Hold
turns,
on."
and he was like, "Let me examine.
Right?
Let me
He's like,
examine."
let's see. He's like,
Choosing.
line them all up first before he killed them and sucked all their innards out. He was like, hold on, let me see that dick.
Who got what? What that dick?
What that dick do? He wanted to see all the best bits.
Yep.
He's like, let me see what you got
Yep.
before I take your people juice.
Got another people juice eater up in here. We were just talking about some people juice eaters.
812 Wharf Avenue.
Jonathan. Oh no, wait. Kevin J. O'Connor as Beni Gabor.
Yeah, we have Jonathan Hyde as Dr. Alan Chamberlain.
Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Oded Fehr as Ardeth Bay.
Fine.
And then why did they also name Eric Avari as
I know,
Dr.
but
Terrence
spelled
Bay,
differently.
but spelled different? And then they never used their last names that I remember.
Nope.
So what was the point?
I don't even remember hearing the Ardeth part.
No,
It was just the
I don't. I just
mysterious
wrote the
tattoo
leader
guy.
of the.
I was
fucking
calling him Bay,
bodyguard.
like B-A-E, Bay, because he's fine.
He is fine. He's fine.
He's fine.
And then Bernard Fox as Winston, who is Bernard from The Rescuers, and Dr. Bombay from Bewitched.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
As soon as I saw his face, I was like, the first thing I thought was, for some reason, I thought Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. So I went to IMDb and I'm like, no, he's not in Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. And then
He's
when I
not
got
that
to
guy.
Bewitched, I was like, wait a Dr. Bombay. I'm like, hell yeah, I remember
Yes.
this dude.
And Bernard.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's only in it for a little bit. We
Right,
have a
but
few
he's a
characters that are comic relief. Him
very
and
pivotal.
Kevin J. O'Connor are like,
Well, he's in like throughout.
oh yeah, he's in
woven
throughout, but I just mean
throughout.
they're both kind of comic relief
Well, that's
characters.
true. That's true. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen throughout this movie because it's from 1999. That's kind of comical.
Oh yeah, and that's part of what I love about this movie is that it has a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
It's got drama, it's got romance,
exciting.
it has intrigue,
It's
it has
fun.
sci-fi, it has a little bit of horror almost.
A little
It's
bit,
got-
yeah. It's a little bit of scary parts. Them scarabs are no fucking joke.
right.
Eric Avari, who we already talked about, and Patricia Velasquez as Anck Su Namun.
I know I cannot pronounce that.
Anck Su Namun.
An ox and a moon. There, I'll remember it now.
There you
An
go.
ox and a moon. Got
An
it.
Anck Su Namun. And did you know, like because you know me and my sub titties, that Benny's Hungarian?
No, does it says
He
that?
said that he's speaking Hungarian throughout, like.
Oh. Because, yeah, his accent did not sound like any of the
Nope, I
Egyptian
would-
locals' accents. But
I mean, I don't know what shit was like in
Yeah, I don't either.
1923 or even after that, right? Because it was 19.
it starts in 1923, yeah.
Right, like I don't know what kind of shit they were up to, but supposedly,
Ooh, we're making up words.
like in the subtitles, like he said many times, it just said him speaking Hungarian. I was like, what?
Interesting.
He's Hungarian?
Interesting. Because,
Did
no,
not
I don't
know.
think it ever brought that up.
No, it never did, and I never would have thought about it except my sub titties.
Do you have any other cast?
I do not.
Me either.
All right, well, I guess we better get down to it.
We got to get down to the pyramids.
Oh, because that's how you know.
in Thebes.
Thebes.
Home of Imhotep, the pharaoh's high priest and keeper of the dead.
Ooh, and Anck Su Namun is. This is just like Remember the Time. This is just like
You
Remember the Time.
You came right up in the
When
Pharaoh's
Pharaoh
house
fucked you up, do you
and stole
remember
his
the-
wife,
right in front of Pharaoh?
and you killed a man. You kill his wife or let her kill herself.
I
Oh.
know you fucked up her body paint like they're gonna.
This is
know,
what
like, you
happened
can't just be-
after Remember the
I
Time.
know.
This is the
Right
fallout
in
from Remember the
front
Time.
of Pharaoh. We gotta find that whole thing again because it was hilarious. That whole thread about what the fuck is he doing?
You
And
can't come up in Pharaoh Eddie Murphy's house.
Why is he wearing those buckle pants underneath his?
Under his
What is
garb,
happening? Right in front
traditional
of Eddie
garb.
Murphy. I mean, it is Iman.
I mean, sometimes you got to fight over David Bowie's
Some-
wife. You just
Sometimes you find
it
yourself
just happens.
fighting
It was the
over
90s, wasn't it? The 90s or was that 80s? Late 80s, early 90s.
90s.
Okay,
The buckle pants was
buckle
the 90s
pants was
era.
90s. All right.
90s era when you're wearing in ancient Egypt.
Okay, Kim's
But-
sending it over.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, so it's like
You get their backstory. There's like a narrator, and who was the narrator? I didn't see.
oh.
I didn't even think about that because there's a narrator for a while in the beginning. He tells the whole
Yeah.
story and sets up the.
I don't know. Do you care also when you're done with that? Who's the narrator?
So yeah, Imhotep's fucking the Pharaoh's wife, and they think they get away with it, but he smudged her body paint,
Duh.
bruh.
You know better. That's a big fuck up.
So he comes in and the Imhotep's hiding, but he's like, "You're fucking."
I know,
Someone's
like-
been touching your ass.
I could see that shit. Like, oh, she's the only one in there because the little guard dudes go snitching.
That's
They
what I
run
thought
out
they
and
went
go
to do, but
snitching.
they went to go shut the door. Because I
Oh.
wrote that they went to snitch, but as the Pharaoh's coming in, they had run over and they were trying to shove the door shut.
Oh, because they were like the priests.
They were the
dudes that
priests dudes. And so they
Okay.
they
I
got a
missed
look
that
though.
part
They
'cause-
gave each other a look when he went with her
Oh.
where I thought for a second the same thing because I was like, "Uh-oh, they're looking
See,
at
'cause
each
I
other
was
like,
taking
"Uh-oh."
notes. I missed that part when I looked down to take a note about it.
Because my first note was, going to rat, apparently. And then in the very next scene when the Pharaoh comes, because his bodyguards see,
Right.
those dudes are trying to like shove the
Push
door
away.
and lock it as the Pharaoh's
Ah,
coming in.
okay.
And they're the ones who tell him to go. Like they get Imhotep.
Oh,
Imhotep?
okay.
All right.
Tippity tap.
Hey, I've been
See,
drinking
and I
already.
was also busy with the remember the time.
Yeah, you were still, you were thinking about that. Oh, Ardeth Bay. So the guy,
Oh, yes. I think I.
okay.
I
the
think 'cause
head
it-
of the
I think
bodyguards.
it makes it clear, and I think I might have even made a note, but I can't remember because that was only earlier today.
Hey, I watched it last night. I have an excuse. It's been like
I
at
was
least
like,
12 hours since I
It's
watched
been like
this movie.
12 hours. I don't know.
Oded Fehr's narrating.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's like, save yourself. You can resurrect me.
Right, you're the only one that could resurrect me, but then they end up like killing the Pharaoh a lot.
Right. Because, they both take turns
Chopper,
stabbing the Pharaoh.
And I love how they do this because it's PG-13. I love how they do this silhouette thing throughout.
Yeah,
the
they
whole,
just
like,
do it
all
in shadow.
Everything is off camera,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is in shadow. Like you just kind of
Even
have
when
to
she
imagine.
stabs herself, I don't think you see.
No, it's just the silhouette.
you see Imhotep seeing her shadow
Right.
stabbing
and
herself.
it makes it very clear what's happening,
Yeah.
but you don't see anything actually happen to anybody except for
No.
mummies, I don't think.
No. So they take her to Hamunaptra, the city of the dead.
Yep.
And he takes the Book of the Dead from its holy resting place.
And like they just murked the Pharaoh. Like
Right?
how
How'd
did
they
they
even
get out of
let-
there? How could
Yeah.
he steal the body? Like his guards are right there.
Well, it seems like the temple did all of the laying her to rest, but then like he shows up. But why would they even do that? She killed the Pharaoh.
Well, that's
why didn't they just throw her in a ditch?
Well, it seems like they had to go from like they had to ride across the desert all frantically. Like how the fuck did they get out of there?
I don't know.
With
man.
a body.
He's magical. I don't know.
Oh,
He wasn't
maybe.
then. I don't think he was the priest, but I don't think he was supposed to be. Well, yeah, he could raise the dead, so he had
Well,
some
yeah,
sort of
so maybe he had
magic.
maybe he could do some.
So
I
yeah,
don't know.
so they do the thing, and her spirit's re-entering her body, but the bodyguards had followed him and
Well, yeah,
stopped
they-
him before he can get
Right,
her
like,
all the
so
way
they
back
don't-
in her body.
Maybe I guess they were
And
just
what
hot
is
on
this
their trail.
Puddle that she comes. Is this like the soul puddle? Like what is the?
Soul
It
puddle.
looks like Pharaoh fluid. That's that magnetic
It's gonna be our band name, Pharaoh Fluid.
Pharaoh fluid. But yeah,
We're gonna do a cover of "Remember the Time."
That's the only song.
That's
just
it.
over and over
Just like
again.
several
Into
different kinds of
type
cover.
in different styles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the priests are condemned to be mummified alive when they all get caught, and
Yeah.
then Imhotep gets the worst of all ancient curses.
Hom-Dai, and it's so fucking bad they don't ever do it.
Well, and what were they thinking?
I don't.
If he ever gets out,
Right?
he
What kind of-
arises a walking disease, an unholy flesh eater with the power of sand, extra human strength,
Why would they
invincibility.
do
So, like,
this? We'll make him
maybe don't do that.
invincible?
Just fucking kill this motherfucker.
right. You could just kill him.
Like, he can't raise
Mummify him
himself from the
live.
dead when he's dead.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they.
You're
I
setting
mean,
yourselves up.
they really
y'all.
wanted to torture him. I get that, but like,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
but they
setting
could have
yourselves
just.
up.
They didn't have to do all that cursey shit. They could have just put him alive in a sarcophagus.
yeah. So they do all this what do they cut his tongue out and his
Yeah,
eye? They do like.
No, they cut out his tongue and then they wrap him up.
And they wrap him up
then
and they put him
them
with full of scarabs.
Oh, nope. Nope. Nope.
The sound.
No, I don't with their tiny little feet. Oh, no.
So 3,000 years later,
Yep.
1923, the descendants of the bodyguards have been watching this the whole time. They
3,000
generations and
years.
generations. They watch wars come and go,
Yep.
blah, blah,
They're
blah.
just peeping.
And we don't,
making sure.
I don't think it explains, but we're right into the middle of some sort of battle.
He
It
kind
explains
of
later,
says-
but it doesn't set up
right.
what is this battle that's
no,
happening.
it's just it's a battlefront, and for some reason, Brendan Fraser is not dressed like the rest of the army. They all seem
he's
to have
the
like
leader,
a
I
uniform.
guess.
No,
Because the
he's-
leader bails.
Yeah, and the leader's dressed like the rest of them.
And when it explains later, it was just that they were trying to get to the Hamunaptra. So I think he's just a guide. I think he's just like,
maybe.
he's the treasure hunter guide
Well,
guy.
he said
who,
that it was like his platoon, or not platoon, but or like his whatever you fucking call it. Because what is that? The Foreign Legion?
I don't know.
I only
I
know
don't think
shit
it
like this from old
explains.
cartoons.
But yeah, so Rick O'Connell and Benny are on the front lines, and Benny takes off like a coward after
Of
the
course.
boss
Your
takes off
strength
like a
gives
coward.
me strength, and
Yeah, so now Rick's in charge.
yeah.
And then there's a battle ensues, shooting,
Right,
horses
there's-
dropping.
And how there's like slaughter and everybody's killing everybody and everybody gets inside and he's like, don't you close that door, and Benny lets him out there. How does he manage? Because I guess their point isn't to really kill them, just to scare them off.
I don't know.
But people die.
yeah.
Like they don't really like, how
Yeah.
does he just run through all this
I
melee?
don't know, man. I don't know.
Because he's swashbuckling.
Because look at him. Look
Timber
at that smile.
shivering.
Are you gonna kill him?
I know
Mm-mm.
that.
No, you're
he's
not.
so.
He
oh
shoots
my
that
God.
smile at you, and you're like,
I
oh,
know,
never
you
mind. You
puddle.
can go.
You can go.
So yeah, and thank God he carries like 5-7 guns at all times, because as
Never
his guns
needs
run
reloading.
out, yeah, he doesn't reload. He just
He
gets
just
more
tosses
guns
them.
out of his
He's pulling
waistband.
him out of his tank girl butt locker.
Ooh, Tank Girl Butt Locker makes a comeback after all this time.
After all this time.
Oh,
The old
that's where you
tank
keep
girl
your extra
butt locker.
weapons and your
that's why I
outfit
keep my
changes.
stuff in my butt locker.
Totally. Not the hurt locker, the
The
butt
butt
locker.
locker.
Use it too much, it might be the hurt locker.
So yeah, Benny goes inside, shuts him out, and he's now caught between two sets of men on horses and in like a dead end. And they're just
Right.
about to shoot him. They all line up like they're going to shoot him, like a firing
Exactly.
squad, and they just get spooked.
Yeah, and
And
I
just
thought
take off.
something was behind them, but it's just that statue of
It's like
Anubis that's making. I know it's making noises and shit. Like, and then that face,
The sand's like going all wild, and
Right.
there's this giant face in the sand.
face.
And the soldiers retreat, and they're like, and the bodyguards are like, "Oh, the creature remains undiscovered. It's fine." And they let Rick go.
Undiscovered yet not undisturbed.
And they're like, "Oh, the desert will kill him. It's
Right.
fine. Let the white man leave."
It's fine. It's cool. Like he's just gonna wander out there and die. So that's great.
So now 3 years later in Cairo at the Museum of Antiquities,
Yep, that's where Evelyn works, and she's a librarian in there.
and we get
she-
some ladder choreography again.
yeah
Not
she-
dancing, but
No, but she's like she gets stuck up on this ladder, and they did this one time because
well, because you're not gonna do.
absolutely.
There was so many bookshelves she knocked
well,
over.
I mean, if you fuck up one thing and it doesn't domino correctly,
True.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, but
So
yeah,
I guess
they
they only did this the
they
one
did
time.
a good job.
Yeah.
Well, and so it sets her up right in the beginning, right here, to be sort of a klutz, but nothing else happens through the rest of the movie, really.
That makes
why
her
we needed
klutzy?
to, yeah, why we needed
She's
to
pretty
think she was a klutz,
self-sufficient.
yeah. So I'm not really sure what the point of that whole scene
They
was.
started to go manic pixie dream girl, and then we're like, nah.
And they're like, nah.
we're gonna let her have it. Let her have it. I mean, I don't know. It just like, I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
don't
so
know
her
what that
boss
shows.
comes in all pissed off,
and that's the every Egyptian movie
Yes.
ever guy.
and he's like, "You're
Dr.
not."
Bay.
She's like, "It was an accident." He's like, "It's not an accident. You're a catastrophe."
Right. Like, why do I put up with you?
And she's like, "Because I can read and write ancient Egyptian and decipher hieroglyphics." He's like, "No."
I'm the only one that can catalog and code this library for 1,000 miles.
And he's like, "No, basically, your parents gave us a lot of money before they died."
They were our finest patrons.
Yeah,
So
they bought a
kind
lot of art, so we
right
owe
now
them.
they're dead. So now we have to take care of you.
And he leaves her to clean up this mess. These big ass bookshelves.
Right? Like
Just
you
by
better-
herself.
Yep. You better straighten all this shit
I don't
out.
care how you do it.
You better do it. You
And
did
you
it.
never see her do it.
No.
She does not clean up this mess, I don't
No,
think.
she goes immediately out into this exhibit.
Yeah, takes a torch and goes exploring in this exhibit, and a corpse pops up out of one of the coffins.
She hears like rattling and shit, and here comes and Jonathan's just in there playing with a dead body.
Right? You're just laying underneath a corpse, an ancient corpse.
You're just fucking playing with it.
and
It's
like,
a
was he
dead
drunk
body.
or something?
I
Because
don't know.
what the fuck are you doing?
Well, they
And you
didn't-
guys are like, what, 29 to
They didn't
35
used
or
to
some
eat
shit?
them.
Like,
Was that the thing?
oh yeah, when they used to have
eat
those
them and
mummy
paint with
parties
them
or
and, like,
whatever.
yeah, it was like,
Oh,
that's what they were doing. Maybe that's why he was doing it. He's like, that's cool. I'm just gonna eat it.
he was all hopped up on mummy dust.
He was hopped up.
He was laying in
He
there
was
hiding like,
snorting mummy.
oh man.
Oh, he was doing mummy
lines,
rails.
Yep. So he pops up and scares her, but he's got something to cheer her up, and he's got this puzzle box that they found on a dig in Thebes.
Yeah.
And he's like, please tell me this is like worth something. That
Right.
I'd never
She's
find
like,
anything.
Oh, I don't know what this is. Let me take a little look.
So she like unleashes Pinhead. She just immediately opens this
Never
puzzle
fuck
box.
with a puzzle box. Never, ever, ever fuck with a puzzle box.
don't want
Because
what's
if you
in there.
open it, oh, they'll have such sights to
To
show
show
you.
you. We need to do that one,
I know
too.
we do it. It's so fucking gross.
I know.
Oh, it's such a gross movie.
It really is. So she opens this up and it's a paper inside, and it's this map.
Papers.
She got some rolling papers, got some weed
They
in
would
there.
probably used to like roll some shit up and like they would roll up mummy weed and like mummy wraps, smoke that shit, get all mummy high.
Oh my god. Maybe that's where Sherms originated. It was originally like a fucking it was wrapped up in mummy roll and dipped in formaldehyde. It's named after the first mummy who was like Sherman, whatever. Like they found a name on a scroll.
No way.
You know, mummy named Sherman.
Absolutely no fucking
In
way.
ancient Egypt,
There was
people
an
were named
ancient
Sherman, girl.
Egyptian pharaoh. You know what?
Pharaoh Sherman?
Pharaoh Sherman was the one wearing the buckle pants.
Yep. That was his name. Pharaoh Sherman.
I said Pharaoh Sherman. Sure.
Pharaoh.
He's Pharaoh too. Pharaoh's a motherfucker as well.
So yeah, so she dates this map, and it's almost 3,000 years old, and it's of Hamunaptra.
Oh shit! I heard of this. This seems like it's not legend. I got stuck. Wow.
And so yeah, she immediately wants to go explore, and he's like, all right, it's
All
supposed
right.
to have lots of treasure underneath.
Sure.
So,
So that's why I want to go. But they take it to Dr. Bay.
and he accidentally sets it on fire.
He was like, "Oh no, this is bullshit. Like this isn't even. a
Nah, it
thing."
doesn't exist. And they're like, oh my God, you set the map on fire. And he's like, many men have wasted their lives on this foolish pursuit. It was for the best.
Right. It's better that you don't throw your time after this shit.
So they go to jail
Right.
to
'cause he's
find the
like-
guy that her brother stole this box off of, which was
which
Rick
he's
O'Connell.
just now telling her about
that he
because-
stole it, right? Because now they
and then
don't know
he's like,
how
I
to.
don't really want to go see him because I pickpocket. He's a pickpocket on the streets of London.
And the warden, I was like, who is the warden? Black Books, the beard guy. The one who, when Bill Bailey leaves, when he runs
Bilbo
away.
Bailey.
Bill Bailey. When he leaves and runs away and he gets picked up at like the train station by a man who gives him a hot dog and takes him home and he like wants to touch his beard. It's the warden from this fucking movie. And I just could not stop thinking about
Gives him a hot
he's
dog,
off on the
takes him
side
home.
with the prisoners like stroking their beards.
Right?
Like,
That's what
selling
he
them
likes
for.
to go in there to do. He puts them out, lines them up in the little cages. And
Right. And this
Beard
guy's also
stroking
been in a
time.
ton of stuff. I forgot to write down his name. The
Oh, yeah.
warden.
You know what? I didn't. And
He's
I
in
don't
a
think they
bunch of
give him a
things.
name. I think they just call him
It just
the
says
warden.
warden something
Yeah.
in the. He does have a name in the thing, but he's another one where I don't think they ever even call him a name. He's just like.
Yeah, no,
the
I think they
warden.
say like, "Oh, where's the warden? Where'd the
Yeah.
warden be?"
And so the
There's a
Carna.
ton of uncredited people in here.
Oh, is there
Oh,
a ton of uncredited
interesting.
people?
Well, I guess that's
Interesting.
what would explain why I didn't write it down because there are pictures right next to the name
Yeah.
I would
They're
recognize.
just like mummy,
Mummy.
uncredited.
Nice.
So-
Uncredited mummies.
So they approach Rick O'Connell's cell, and she asks him about this box. Oh,
What?
oh yeah. I know I couldn't. Maybe that's why I didn't write it down because I was like, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it.
There's an Omed and an Abed.
Jaluli, you said? Jalili.
Jalili.
So he knows why they're there. You came to ask me about Hamunaptra because like he realizes who the brother is.
Right.
That he's the dude that robbed him or whatever.
Right.
And he punches
He,
him in the
like,
face.
He does. And how he comes out looking like George of the Jungle. And how does he have long hair but no beard?
Did he not have a beard? Why
No.
was I
Did he
thinking?
not?
I
He
feel
didn't
like he
have
had
a
a
beard.
beard.
Did
he
he?
didn't?
I feel like he didn't have a beard.
I thought he
just had long
did.
hair.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to Google photos of Brendan Fraser.
Oh no!
Oh no!
that's
Don't Google Brendan
terrible.
Fraser and the money. Oh,
And
and
the
the
money.
money.
It's money, baby.
He's
Don't
in the
Google
money.
Brendan
He's
Fraser's
in the
golden
money.
era.
Right?
Don't
The
do
last
that.
thing you want is pictures of him coming up in your algorithm.
I wouldn't want that at all.
Wah.
That would suck.
So he's like, look, if you get me out of here, I'll help you. And he like grabs her and smooches her.
Yes.
Dirty old fool. But like he says later, it's because he was about to get hanged.
It
And so it
sounds
just,
like
she
a
was
good
a pretty
idea.
girl. What happened?
You were like,
Honged.
Honged.
He's about to get honged.
We're gonna have a honging.
We're gonna have a honging tonight.
you can hear your lingo. It's not hung.
It's not.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have
I
a
was trying not to
honging.
say hung. I was like, oh no, hung.
I mean,
hanged.
he might be.
Fuck. He got
might be.
hang.
He got hanged.
So yeah, the
He
guards
did,
resume
actually.
beating. Yes, the guards resume beating his ass. He's
Yes.
taken to be hanged, and at the gallows, she's up there offering the warden money, and he's like, more.
Yep.
She gets up to 500, and he's like, well, what else?
Right?
He's
like,
trying
I'm very
to get a
lonely.
little
like
piece,
a shadow.
and she
Oh,
don't want to
okay.
do that, but she's like, so they let him hang.
Right.
They let him hang, and then because his neck doesn't break, he's just like.
She's like, well, now we
Struggling,
gotta
swinging
watch him
there.
struggle and die and strangle to death. And she was like, wait, he knows the location of Hamunaptra.
And now he's interested, and so they deal, and he deals for 25% of what they
He talks
find.
himself down. He like she's willing to give him 30, and he's like 25. She goes, yep.
Yep. There you go. So she's talking shit about they're now getting ready to board the ship later or whatever. They've cut him down.
Oh yeah,
she
we did
saved
forget
him.
to mention he did actually. He went like unconscious. They
Oh, he
it
did?
was like a Michael J.
Because I
Fox
was
situation.
wondering because it looked really real when they were hanging him.
Yeah, I
like
guess
I
he
didn't
had
see
to,
any
like, be
supports. Okay,
revived.
so he was just like
Yeah, it's like just
scruffy.
a shadow.
Okay.
It's like a little George Michael. But I guess he had to be like revived. It was so bad.
oh wow.
Like lost consciousness.
Yeah, that's like hardcore. Because that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking when watching it. Was like, what is holding him up? Because
It's a
he
good
really
thing it didn't work and break his neck. Because holy shit,
yikes. So yeah, so
I
then-
would not be agreed to be hung in any for any
No.
fucking reason. It goes
No, no, no,
badly
no.
all the
Not a
time.
good
It goes
idea.
badly. I'm not doing that shit.
Not a good idea. No fake shooting me.
No,
We've seen that go wrong too many times
Nope.
now.
I mean, no one's asking.
no,
No one's asking.
No.
But I'm telling you straight up, don't
not
ask
at all.
because I'm not gonna do it. Don't ask me.
So now they're getting ready the next day to get on this ship and go out to Hamunaptra, and she's telling her
Hamunaptra.
brother how this filthy and rude and what a
Right.
scoundrel. And
Well,
here
they're talking about
come-
like, do you think he's even gonna show up? And ooh,
here
ooh,
he
ooh.
come looking fine
Fine
as hell.
Lennon's fresh, shave fresh,
Mhm.
cut.
He's like,
fresh-
oh, do I know who you're talking about? She's like,
I mean, you
she's
filthy
stunned.
motherfucker.
She is stunned.
Uh,
He carries her bag onto the ship. And is this where, does he explain right here? I think it's later where she's like, why did you kiss me? I think that's later
I think
on
it
the
might
ship.
be later, but like, I feel like it's almost kind of disappointing that they don't like they were never together in real life because I feel like their chemistry is
Yeah,
like,
they definitely
excellent.
had good chemistry.
Like
they
you
were
would
very
believe
cute.
that they were in love with each other.
Oh yeah, I didn't question that
Nope.
ever.
I love it. In my mind, they're
still
actually
together.
just those people.
That's just who they are.
That's just who they are out there in the wild doing Egyptian adventures.
Well, we'll get to. I have a note at the end because I watched the sequel.
I know. Well, that kind of ruins it because I feel like after a couple, like she don't even come back.
Well, because I
anymore.
knew the only reason I watched it is number one, I'd never seen it. Number two, it was also, by the way, this is on Peacock, which is the sequel is also available on Peacock.
Yeah,
and
they
it was
have
just up right after.
They got the run.
And I thought to myself, you know what we always do when we get to the end of a movie is we suppose what happened to these characters.
Right. So you.
So
can find
I
out.
don't want to suppose and have everybody message us like, there's a sequel with the exact same fucking
It
cast,
doesn't
right?
matter
Like
to me.
there's an
In
answer
my
to your
mind
question.
is all that matters.
So I have some answers. If you didn't ever watch The Mummy Returns like I never did, I'll give you just a very brief synopsis of it at the very end.
Okay, great.
He was married at the time.
Oh, he was
he was
married
made-
at the time
oh,
to the
was
one
that-
who like took all his fucking money and shit.
Yeah,
That one.
That one.
I think that's the only wife he ever
I
had,
feel
right?
like
He's
it.
not been married any other
Is
time.
he the one that
1998
has
to
the
09.
the sons that one
That
of them
look
looks
like models, yeah.
yeah, but one of them looks like a Twilight vampire and the other one looks like an Anne Rice
Yes.
vampire.
Yep. Because one's like really blonde and one's really dark haired.
Gorgeous, beautiful,
Gorgeous,
capable
yep.
sons.
Yes. And he's all sweet with his kids.
Oh, of course. Well,
if you don't know anything about Brendan Fraser,
he's
he
just
seems
like
like the,
the best.
sweetest freaking
I
dude.
would be so disappointed to find out something untoward.
I know. So would I. He does not give you that vibe, but there's a lot of
No,
people that don't
I
give you that
know.
vibe, and you find
You
some
never,
shit out.
ever
So
know.
please,
But
don't
like I
disappoint
said,
us, Brendan.
He's just Rick O'Connell to me out there doing the shit.
Right?
So, don't matter.
So yeah, bodyguards are out patrolling the boat at night. Oh, the warden comes along. So the
Yes,
warden
he
shows up to protect his investment. So they're out on the river, wherever they are, the sea.
Right.
And the bodyguards are patrolling by boat at night.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's these other American explorers on this boat who are also there
They're
seeking
like,
Hamunaptra.
and fucking Jonathan can't keep his goddamn mouth shut. Shut up.
And they've got fucking Jumanji Dad with them. What is that guy's name? We have his
Jumanji
name,
Dad.
Jumanji Dad, right?
Yeah.
And he's also
That's
the
it.
hunter in Jumanji, whatever his name was.
Jumanji Hunter.
Yep, that guy,
Uh-huh.
safari guy.
Sure.
He's there in a fez.
Because that's.
I don't know what a
Why
fez
not?
signifies except for if you're in a lodge. So
I
I'm
would
not
like
sure
one.
in
I want a
1923,
fez.
right? I don't know
We'll
what it
start
meant in
wearing that shit
1920 or
around.
1926 we're at now, but I don't know what
I
that
don't know.
meant.
Maybe I won't. What does that say? Like, can I?
Is
can
it just
I wear a
fashion
fez?
or does it mean something?
Well, I've always wanted one just like.
Does it mean you're a
s-
monkey with symbols?
I could get some symbols, and a
Okay.
smoking jacket.
Yep. There you go.
That's. I feel
That's
like
the
you
only
need
way
a
you get away
smoking
with it.
jacket with a fez, and the symbols are optional.
So yeah, so they're like, oh, Jonathan is out here like playing poker, running his fucking mouth
Right?
to these
Telling
Americans.
them their whole fucking bullshit.
Oh, I have a guy who's been there.
Right?
Like he's like,
He-
shut the fuck up, Jonathan.
What is your problem? No wonder you're always in a pinch, in a scrape.
And what does he do?
Nothing.
Is he a con man or something? Like, what is his deal?
He's
even?
a pickpocket
Yeah,
and a con man. Most
you don't
likely.
actually really find out about what his deal is.
Jonathan's mysterious.
And just for Nico, she said she would not stand for any John Hannah erasure. Apparently, he has a series.
Does
he
he?
was oh God, was it a detective series or it's something that's on Tubi? I have it in my.
Oh.
When we take a break,
Okay.
we won't remember, but we're gonna
Well,
try to
we're gonna
remember
try.
Nico. That there's a series that he did, and she like fell in love with John Hannah during
Oh.
that. So she's
Is
like,
it like
you have to mention.
a mystery detective?
I think it
thing?
might
'Cause-
be. So
Oh,
I'm gonna.
you know
I'll
how
check
much I
because if
like
it is, you'll love
that.
that. So
you know how much I like.
yeah. So
that.
I'll double check, and we'll try to remember that when we come back. So anyway, we're not going to break yet.
No, we're
We're gonna
not.
get a little further.
No, we're not.
So yeah, the bodyguards come up alongside the boat, and then Rick goes to talk to Eve and is like, "Are you still mad about the kiss?" This is where he brings
Right,
it up.
right. And she was like, "No, I mean, it's just like, why would you do that?"
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I was about to go to my death,
Right? She's like,
and
God,
she like,
it's not because you were so captivated by my fucking beauty.
and it's like,
So
no,
you're
you were
supposed
the
to fucking
only
say.
woman I've seen in the whole
Also
time I've been
that.
in prison,
He's
and
like,
I'm
I've
about
been
to be
making
put
out
to
with these
death.
fucking dudes. I've been making out with the warden.
You don't even know
You
the
don't even
warden's
know the shit
breath.
that I've
Ooh, bad.
been giving rim jobs in here.
Touch of cloth?
What?
Touch of cloth? Was that the
Touch
series?
of cloth?
Or is it DI?
Oh, I
Oh.
don't remember. She sent it to the Discord. I'll have to look.
okay.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. She sent a link. So he
I was
unrolls
like,
his like
what?
weapons and ammo roll
Right, that he
on the
just, like-
table.
It's like he threw his dick on the table. Brah!
And he's trying to tell her like something's underneath the sand there. Like this is not a good idea. She's like, but I gotta get this book. Oh,
It's
what is
what?
it?
Rebus?
Revis?
Rebus.
Rebus?
Reba McEntire?
Never mind.
My ears don't work so good no more.
don't
We'll
work
figure it out
not.
later.
But yeah, he tells her this. She's like, no, I'm there for a book. I'm not there for treasure. And he was like, oh, but the fact that the book is gold, I guess, doesn't interest you at all. She's like, no. She goes, I don't believe in all of that hocus pocus, but
I want the
this
book of the dead.
with all the spells in
And
it.
I don't care that it's gold.
No, I think she wants the other
Oh,
book.
she wants the black one, not the gold one.
Well, oh,
the book
maybe.
because there's the book of Amun-Ra is gold and the book of the dead is the black one.
Well, because she says later that it switched, so she thought that the other thing was
the
supposed-
placements were switched. So it's still they're still the books as described, but where they found them were not where they were described in the map or whatever. They swapped.
He mentions a gold book, and I don't know which one that she's mentioned. But no, she says the Book of the Dead, doesn't she?
She doesn't believe in fairy tales, but she says the book of Amun-Ra is out
The
there.
the Necronomicon.
It's full of
and they
secret
do the same shit. They do
incantations.
the same fucking Evil Dead shit. Like, you don't just start reading
I know.
incantations.
And she's a
out
librarian
loud.
who's been reading all about this, and her parents
What
like we're all
the
into
fuck
it.
is wrong
And again,
with
when
you?
we get to my little blurb at the end about the second one, if it doesn't make sense in the first one, it really fucking
I
doesn't make sense in
know.
the
You-
second one
did-
after
did
you
you
saw for a
forget?
fact that you resurrected a goddamn mummy.
Evie, Evelyn Carnahan,
Does not make any sense.
Evelyn.
And so the only thing I can say is, I mean, I guess it's an Alice in Wonderland vibe. You know, like I guess that's what they're trying to do is she's just so intelligent and so curious about
And she's on LSD.
history, right? That she just can't help herself. Like she
I
just like
guess.
she's compelled
She
to
must
move forward
know.
with
She
this.
has to be educated on the
I don't know.
subject.
I guess. So, and this is where she asked about why he kissed her, and he says it was a good idea.
Right,
at
right,
the
right.
time. So then Rick finds Benny and threatens
Yeah.
to shoot him, and he's
He
like, "Oh,
sees him
you're the
hiding.
one leading the Americans to Hamunaptra.
He's like, don't kill me. Think of my children.
You don't have any children."
Yeah, but someday I might.
So he throws him overboard.
Right.
Or no, at first he's like talking about the girl, and he tells him, "You always did have more balls than brains." That's what Benny tells Rick,
Right,
because
and
he's
then
looking at Evie.
Right. And he's like, so what are you going to do? Take these guys out to the middle of the desert and leave them there? And he's,
He's
like,
no, they're smarter than that.
I got paid half up front and half later once I get them back to Cairo. So whatever. And he's like, well, goodbye, Benny.
And he throws him
right
overboard.
And I was
Another
like,
connection overboard.
whoa. And first I was like, how dumb are you? Because I was like, wow. Like just murked. I mean, like not like he deserves it, but it's not like the ocean; it's the Nile.
Right. So
It's not.
he
as,
figures
like,
he's
they
just
make
gonna
it
get back on the boat wet.
or that, yeah, or they're gonna like
Just
make it to the
if he doesn't
side.
get eaten by a crocodile, he can get back on the boat.
Well, I guess that is a concern.
So he notices wet footprints on the deck after he throws Benny over, and then we cut to Eve in her room getting ready for bed, and she's still all
like,
thinking about that kiss, which
like, it's just
it was
a
a
kiss.
dry kiss from a dirty, stinky prisoner
It
who
was a
you
dry kiss from a dirty man, girl.
you
Get
weren't
over it.
hot about it till you saw him clean.
I don't know if she's been kissed many times.
There's that too. That
Well,
she's
maybe
never
not.
been kissed. Probably she's a librarian in
Never been
1926,
kissed.
and I guarantee you she's probably supposed to be like 19 years old. It never says.
Oh, probably.
But she's not married. But she's 19 years old and 108 pounds,
108.
and he's probably 25 tops.
He's a dashing 38-year-old.
Oh, maybe because back then that age difference
was
was
fine.
nothing. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Oh, girl, do not invoke R. Kelly.
Nobody peed on anybody. It's fine.
There were no stingrays in Egypt.
There were no stingrays in Egypt. It's fine.
Aaliyah didn't die for this.
No, no, Aaliyah, we miss you. So yeah, so she stands up and this bodyguard is behind her and wants the map.
Right. She's like, oh, shit.
And she's like, it's right there.
Yeah,
They're like,
go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, take it.
And he wants the key, and she's like, okay, I don't
even
know
what
about
we're
no
talking
key.
about. Yeah.
So Rick bursts in, guns drawn, more bodyguards come in, and lantern gets dropped, the couch gets set on fire,
Everything, yeah.
everything's fucking on fire.
Action packed.
And she goes back for the map, but Rick's like, relax,
I am
I'm the map.
She's like, oh, great. That's fantastic. And John tries to get the key because the key.
Yeah, and he like rushes in and knocks this dude further into the flames and gets and realizes the box is the key.
She like kind of saves her damn self. She like stabs
Yeah.
him right in the eye.
Yeah, with like a candle or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rick, so they get out, they're big old shootout, blah, blah, blah. Rick asks Eve if she can swim and throws her into the river.
First, there's like all the shooting and he's like reloading or whatever. And she saves his life again by like looking to get closer and pulls him.
Yes, pulls him out of the way because they're shooting just like further and further into the corner he's hiding in. And she like yanks him out of the last shot.
Right. They see over there like the Americans are playing cowboy. Jonathan has the key.
And he goes to jump
in
he after he throws her, but he's stopped by this bodyguard, and they get into a fucking fisticuffs match.
Fisticuffs, a Donnybrook.
That's what you called it in 1926, fisticuffs, right?
Well, yeah,
I feel like that's that era.
Or Donnybrook.
There you go. And the warden runs up like, "What do I do?" And he's all, "Wait here while I go get help." And he just jumps overboard.
And he waits for a
He
second.
does for
he
a
was
second.
like, "Oh
and then
shit!"
jumps in, too.
And then he goes to.
And the Americans are left shooting with the bodyguards. Jonathan
Right.
comes out, sees them, and everybody gets off the ship. Whatever.
Right,
The dad
they
from
all
Jumanji is like all mortified about what's happening.
Exactly. And Benny's all, "Oh, hey, O'Connell, looks like I got all the horses."
Oh yeah, well looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Oh, shit. Yeah, they're the only ones that made it over to that side. Are they not?
Yeah, only
were,
the
like,
three
the
of them.
only- yeah.
Yeah. So before we find out what that means and why they're on the wrong side of the river,
What that mean?
we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
We gotta
Okay,
do it
we're
now.
back.
We gotta do it now. We're back.
Before I forget,
Do it now.
the series that Nico mentioned with John Hannah is called McCallum from 1998. It's the riveting series about a forensic doctor whose quest for truth helps him and his morgue colleagues investigate crimes in London's East End.
Ooh,
And it
Crimes
is
in London
available
town.
on Tubi, 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
And
I
that's
gotta
where
know
she
what I'm
fell
doing
in love
tomorrow.
with him, she said. So there you go.
I'm doing that tomorrow. Well, no, I have to watch another movie
Oh, yeah, me too.
because I'm
Double
behind.
record.
I have to watch another movie. It's a mystery. Shh.
So speaking of John Hannah, Jonathan is out there trying to procure them some camels
Right,
for
'cause
transportation since they didn't
need
get no
some.
horses.
No, because they don't have any horses, so they need to get some camels. And like,
Rick saw we could have got them for free if we gave them your sister.
I know, and he was like,
Bruh,
I.
come on now.
Well, I don't think he was like for real.
No.
'Cause he's already like whatever. Because she comes out looking stunned.
Ooh, and all these like locally made garments
I
because all
know,
her
well,
shit
'cause
got burned.
All her shit got burned, and I guess they had to because she, in that nightgown, she came up out the water. You can see all her kibbles and bits.
I bet.
So they had to like digitally paint the nightgown
Oh,
so that she couldn't see her
okay.
nipples.
Poor editor.
Yeah,
The poor editor zooming
know,
in. Can you still see the
bummer.
nipple? Can you still see the
don't
nipple?
know, but can you see it now? I want to see her nipples. Santa wants to see her nipples.
You can hardly see them nipples.
Hey, and he's really
Where did
looking.
nipples be?
Sneaking,
Creeping
peeping.
out
Where
that
the nipples
top.
be?
There
Out
they
that
be.
top.
So
Just
they
peeking
travel.
out the top like
They travel through the desert by camel, and by night they're like falling
I
asleep
know.
on the camels
Do
as
the
they
camels
ride.
know where they're going?
I guess so.
Is that have they made the journey before?
Well,
They're like
Rick stays awake, but like nobody else.
Homing camels.
Homing camels.
homing
Yep.
camels. They're like, yeah, no, they're trained in on Hamunaptra.
And the bodyguards are watching them from a cliff, and he's like, "This one is strong about Rick because
Oh yeah, because
they recognize him from
They're like, oh yeah,
the
how
magi.
does he know from that far away? Did he have a little
He had
peep
some
scope?
binoculars, binoculars.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Got a peep scope and some
Peep scope.
binoculars. I like to eat apples and bananas.
So in the morning, Rick comes face to face with Beni and the Americans on their horses.
Right, they all get there at the same time.
And they've made this bet that like $500 to whoever gets to Hamunaptra first.
Whoever gets there first. So hey, first they have to wait for the sunrise.
So the sun comes up and there is Hamunaptra.
Right,
in
it
the
shows
sunrise.
up like a oasis, or not an oasis. What do they call that shit?
A mirage.
There
Yes.
you go. There you go.
And so they race to the city, and you think Rick and Beni are like neck and neck, but then here comes Eve.
Well, he throws him off his camel because Benny's over there cheating, creeping, peeping.
Yep.
There to Benny B. And he's like, what? And how come he got a camel and everyone else has horses?
I'm not sure why Beni had a camel. I thought they all had horses.
And that guy, I guess in real life, none of the camels liked his ass. Like they really did
really?
not. The camels did not favor Kevin O'Connor.
Because he's Swan.
That's what I was like. Is that because
Lord
his
of
fucking
Illusions.
Swan?
You guys, we should do Lord of Illusions.
I know.
That's
I
a good
watch that
one.
every now and again.
I do
just
too.
because I see it's on.
My
I'm like,
husband
ooh.
loves it, and like we watch it, and that's the first thing he said when we turned this on was like, "Oh shit,
Oh,
that's right,
shit.
Swan."
Stop looking at me, Swan.
That's the only why. That's like the first way I think of him, even though he's in like Steel Magnolias
Oh, he's in all
and like
kinds
a
of
ton
shit,
of
but
shit.
he's always Swan.
Yep. So yeah, he gets knocked off his camel. Eve's like keeping up, and then just passes
Oh
him.
yeah, she gets
because
off.
her
She's
camel
like
likes her.
she's an expert. Here we go.
And she wins the race, which you never. There's no exchange of $500
they're just-
after that.
But they all get there and get to dig all together.
Yeah, they set up camp in Hamunaptra.
Mm-hmm.
Eve's showing her boys where they're gonna find what they're looking for, and Dr. Chamberlain's got his Americans dudes.
Yes.
And they're dismissing. He's dismissing anything she has to say
Oh, 'cause
because
it's-
what could a woman know?
What would she even fucking know? She can't. Who taught you to read? Who taught you how to read?
But this bitch is smart as hell, and
Oh,
she got
yeah,
some
she is.
ancient mirrors.
Right. She was like, those are some mirrors. Like, I know how to do some shit. I could read the things.
And
you
Rick
know?
stole her some tools off the Americans
I know.
for the
he
tools
just
she
went up
lost.
He's over there flirting.
Mhm.
skirting.
I got you a little something, something,
Got,
something.
got you a little. Here,
something, something.
shh, just take it.
You might like this.
Go dig
Let's
some
not talk
shit up.
about it.
Go dig some shit up, baby girl.
So she's happy. They go down in this cavern,
Yeah.
and she cleans off more mirrors and angles it, and it like
Oh, yeah,
lights
she's
up
like,
the cavern.
"Broop, this is what you do with that shit. Bop, bop, bop. And it's. Oh wait, no. At that point, it was daytime.
Yeah, it was still sun.
But later
Yeah,
when
that's
they
where she
do
got
it,
the
it was
sun.
like it was
like
nighttime.
it's
I don't know
nighttime.
the
What are you
fuck-
doing?
anyway,
How can you see down there?
I don't know how that worked.
So
Times.
they
Moon
go to the
times, not the sun times.
preparation room for entering the afterlife. Is where
they're
they
like,
are.
oh shit! You put all the guts in the jars and whatever, and you
Scoop out
skizzle
the
up
brains.
It's just like a
Tales from the Dark Side of the
Yep,
movie.
Yep. I always
Lot-
think about that with 2, 4,
four,
6,
Yeah, something like
8,
that.
6, 7, 5,
3
3,
lot 8675309.
It's
Totally.
Jenny.
That's
Jenny.
Jenny the mummy.
Jenny's a mummy.
And you hear sounds of scarabs, but you don't see anything. But you hear like the tick, tick, tick.
And the word's like, oh no, I hate them bugs. Just wait. You hate them now. Just wait.
And they hear more noises, but it's the Americans. They're coming
Right.
from the other direction.
And they're like, hey, we found this shit first. She's like, no, we found this shit first.
And then she realizes, like, hey, there's other places to dig.
Right, she's like, "No,
like she knows this
cool,
ain't
like-
the spot that they
Right.
want.
But it kind of is though.
It is, but she doesn't realize
I
whatever.
know. Whatever.
So, and where did the warden get off to? Well, he's crawling around with a torch somewhere, and he
Oh, yeah.
finds these jeweled scarabs in like some wall art
I
and
really
starts popping
don't
them
know
out.
what any of these motherfuckers think. Tomb raiding
Right?
every last bit of all of this shit is cursed.
Of course.
All of it.
Of course.
Why would you even
Why
try
would
it?
you?
I am not taking a camel across the fucking
in, like,
desert.
I mean, I know it's been 3,000 years, but already in 1926, you're so jaded that you don't believe in any of this shit. You're just like, whatever,
No.
jewels.
I could just pop
treasure.
some shit out of an ancient burial ground.
Like, you'd think.
And blue gold, what the fuck
Right?
is
They
that?
believed enough to try to eat parts of them to gain some sort of magical powers. So, like, you didn't believe in any of this shit?
Right? I don't. And what's a blue gold? I ain't never heard of that.
I ain't
shit
never heard of
before.
blue gold. I
He's
heard
like,
of rose
"Ooh,
gold.
Blue gold.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Copper.
Right? It's oxidized. It'll turn your finger green.
Rose gold.
The Americans are out there trying to open this crypt, and Dr. Chamberlain's like, whoa, slow down. Let the
Oh.
diggers open that.
Right.
So
like
they
you went-
call over these, like, probably 1 penny a week slaves.
Oh, they're just feeding them
Yeah.
kind of a little bit. I did notice that you never see not one person take a sip of water
You know what?
throughout the entire
I did
desert
not
time.
notice that, and you are right. They had to be thirsty as hell. Oh my goodness! In the
Parched. Not one. They
deserts
drink the
of
Glenlivets.
yeah, they do.
They drink at the bar.
Yeah.
I don't never see not nobody. I never see a what do you call it? Canteen.
Yeah,
I never see a little water jug.
That is kind of weird
Nobody
to
takes
set
a
a
sip of
movie
water.
in the fucking desert and not have water be a part of the like just natural background. Like,
Right.
That there's just water
Like
available.
nobody gets thirsty in the desert.
Weird. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Good call. Good
That's
call.
a hole.
So, they open the fucking shit, whatever.
Yeah, and it's like,
this like hot sand blast comes fucking their faces up.
What did they call it?
I have a
sand,
note
acid,
later. Yeah, I think
sand?
I wrote it later when he says what it was.
Yeah.
And so it fucks them all up. And then back to Evie telling Rick and Jonathan about the mummification process.
Right.
And Jonathan's like golfing or I don't know what the fuck he's
like,
doing
yeah,
in there.
because that's what I said. Is he like fucking golfing? But he didn't bring his clubs. I guess he's just kind of playing around.
And a sarcophagus just drops from the ceiling between them.
Oh shit! Oops.
And she's like, oh, he must have been someone of great importance.
Or
Or he
really
did something
naughty.
very naughty.
And it's like I hate this shit with the okay, yeah, the warden guy. He's over there still. He's picking shit out of the wall.
Yep. And it's coming to life.
And it
Digs
it's like
itself into
skitters-
his boot.
and it into his skin, into his guts,
Up
It's
through
like
his
under-
belly and
you
his
could
chest
see
and
that
his
shit, like, and then
face.
it gets into his head, and it's like blop blop. No,
Not
no,
cool.
No, it's inside.
He's trying to smack it. Oh.
but you can't.
No. It is he
'Cause
that
it's
shall
made-
not be named.
Made out of blue gold, you can't stop it.
So yeah, the other people they find
it's Voldemort in there.
yeah. They find the scarab lock and Rick mentions this key and Eve's like, "Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what this.
That's what this box is. That be
Sure.
a key. Let's just open
That
up
be a
this
key."
cursed fucking mummy sarcophagus."
right. That at the very least smells like a 1,000-year-old fart.
Right?
It's like burp like Tupperware.
Nasty. And so yeah, she opens it and then back to the warden screaming.
Yes.
Jonathan grabs the key back and they go to see what's going on with him. And
Right.
Jonathan grabs the I
Well,
just said that. Grabs
Yeah,
the key
he
back.
grabs the key, and the warden comes running out and runs like right into a wall and just
Yes,
dies.
and passes out and dies. Yeah.
He just dies
From fear. Again.
Oh shit!
He was scared
He
to
was
death.
scared.
Well, but I'm sorry, he had a reason. If a
Oh, no,
scarab
that
be
was
crawling up under your whole body skin, yep, that's a reason to be scared to death.
Are they kind of under the stairs?
Oh. Uh-oh. Is this a People Under the Stairs sequel? Prequel?
Oh,
Prequel. That's way before. way before. Wait. So this is where she says something about or Rick tells them that the diggers were melted with pressurized salt acid
Right.
from an ancient booby trap.
Booty traps.
Right.
Because they were like, oh, I heard you lost a guy. We lost a guy too.
And then like this wind blows and she's like, I don't believe in curses. And Rick's like, well, but I believe in being prepared.
Right? Like just rat.
And Jonathan goes through the warden's bag and finds this bottle of 12-year-old Glenlivet.
Glenlivets.
And there's a commotion. It's the bodyguards. They're burning the tents. They're killing Americans.
The
A
magi
shootout
is there to shut
ensues.
this shit down.
Eve
And
shoots a bodyguard.
I was gonna say she kills the guy.
Yeah.
The other time it was like kind of accidental because
Right.
she just wounds him real bad. She blinds him. She marks him, and then he burns later.
Yeah,
kind
but
of
this
not
time
her
she
thing, but
just
this
straight
time
up
she
shoots
just
a bodyguard.
Straight fucking makes her bones.
And Beni comes to share in Jonathan's alcohol, and
Right.
he ends up spitting it in his face because like a guard's coming up.
Well, that and ew. Who wants to share a drink with Swan? I don't want to share a drink with Swan. I don't care if it is the Glenlivets.
And Rick jumps on one of them. It's a leader, and he like chops the gun out of his hand,
man,
grabs a
that's-
stick of dynamite, and lights it on fire.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Call off your peeps."
My peeps.
Tell him leave or die. And so the bodyguard's like, "You guys have one day, leave or
Right.
die."
You gotta go.
We'll
You
go,
got
but,
one
like,
day. That's
yeah.
it. So now,
And like, I never thought of this. Rick takes the wick out of the dynamite.
right, and just
The end.
yeah, that's it. That's the
Really?
end of
Is
the
that how
dynamite.
TNT works? It's that easy? You just pull the
I'm not
fucking
gonna try
burning
it.
thing out?
I'm not gonna try it.
Good to know.
If you stick your finger in the end of a gun,
It blows back in their
the other
face.
side.
Bugs
Looney
Bunny
Tunes
rules.
logic.
Yes.
You gotta bend the rifle.
Absolutely.
Back up
Back up
underneath
the
hole.
rabbit hole.
You could paint
shoot
the
it,
whole.
shoot you in your
Yes.
own asshole.
Shoot you in your own asshole.
That's right. Elmer Fudd. If you tie in a knot, backfire.
Yes, then it backfire. Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season, Elmer season.
Exactly. So he goes to check on Eve. She's lying in the sand. She's fine. The American's like, hey, how about at night we combine forces?
Right.
Because, like,
I guess
these guys are
we
scary.
should. Yeah, they scare me. So now they're all getting drunk because that's a good idea.
And Rick is teaching Eve how to throw punches. They're getting drunk. Jonathan's already passed out.
Right.
And she's all wasted. What's a place like me doing in a girl like this?
I had thought about that.
And she's like, Egypt is in my blood. So she explains
And
her
she's
father
half
was a
Egyptian?
famous explorer and her who loved Egypt, and her mother was an Egyptian adventurer, is what
Okay.
she says. So
Is her mother Carmen Sandiego?
was Carmen Sandiego
don't know.
Egyptian?
San Diego is clearly an Egyptian.
I just thought she was San Diegoan. San Diego. Whale vagina.
The whale's vagina. I don't know why I said that because she was an adventurer. That was the first thing that sprang to mind. I don't know.
And so Rick's like, yeah, I get that. I get your parents. I get your brother, but I don't get you. And she's like, I'm a librarian.
I'm proud of what I am, and I'm a librarian.
And she goes to kiss him and like passes out
Like,
before
right
she gets there.
Into his lap. Mm-hmm. So now they spend the whole next day looking around, and they find that
the
thing-
box under the tomb.
right, and it's like death will come.
And Jumanji dad's like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's cursed.
Yeah.
Read it.
Hold on, that's cursed. That's cursed. That's definitely cursed. That's like double cursed, and that's worse cursed.
And that is probably cursed.
That's maybe
just the door
or
frame
maybe-
is
yeah,
probably
I don't know.
cursed.
By coming in here, you're now cursed.
So he's like, it says, death will come on swift wings to whomsoever opens this chest. And a wind blows through.
Of
The
course.
diggers get spooked and run
They
out.
want out of here.
Benny's like, we shouldn't be here. This is not good. Now, if Benny's like, we shouldn't
Right?
be here,
Then
it's
you
time
better
to go.
Yep.
And he reads that there is one of the undead who have brought back to life is bound to consummate this curse and kill whoever opens this chest and assimilate their organs and fluids and regenerate and no longer be undead but be a plague upon this earth. And Benny's like,
That means he's gonna fuck it.
It's
he's
time
gonna,
to go.
Consummate and assimilate with
Right?
some fluids.
so cut to Rick. Oh no, first they open it anyway. They're like
Of course they
stupid,
do.
superstitious bastards.
Who cares?
And if something blows out, and then it cuts to Rick and the Carnahans
I
opening the
thought it was
sarcophagus.
acid salt again.
Oh, maybe.
Well, no, because nobody's burnt up. They're
Nobody's
all
burnt
still
nut. I think it was just sand again. It was just like a little sandstorm.
Whatever.
So now Rick and the Carnahans are opening the sarcophagus of Imhotep at the exact same time. Why are you
Girl,
opening it?
Because then the movie would be over.
And his corpse is disgusting.
It's juicy.
It's
Juicy.
juicy.
Juicy? Is it gooey?
Like-
is it yummy?
Like he's still decomposing.
I know. Like he's supposed to be 3,000 years old. Like how come
Why
he's still
ain't
wet?
he dry?
Why aren't you? Oh my
You ain't
God,
dried
Nicole.
by now?
You can't just ask people why they're not dry.
I just did. I want to know, Imhotep.
Imhotep,
Why aren't you dry by now?
why are you so wet right now?
Did they put you in a Ziploc bag?
Oh, and now you're
Ooh, he's
funky.
mildewed.
Oh, he's got butt shrooms.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
no.
And Rick notices there's claw marks inside the
Oh,
sarcophagus.
fuck. He was buried alive.
And he left a message. Death is only the beginning.
How Vigo.
And back to the face of the mummy and back to the Americans with their box.
They got the Book of the Dead.
And they don't care. They just want
No.
treasure. They're like, this ain't made of gold. What the fuck is this?
What's his tits is like, y'all, this is the treasure.
And
This is the thing.
And they kick the box and unveil more treasures, which is just the guts
It's
of
just
Imhotep and
guts.
vases. It's
He's
not
like,
treasure.
This is what you want. This is the rich stuff.
This is
They're
his
like, "That's-
organs."
That's a fucking spleen, dog. I don't want it.
I don't need this. I don't want this. This
Lungs.
is not worth any
It's a
dollars.
stomach. Is that his dick in a jar? I'll take that.
Oh, a dick in a jar.
I got it. Yes, it's got a little. I mean, like maybe the jars are
The jars might be worth something. Maybe there's some sort of marble. I don't know, something
rich
ancient
stuff,
material,
blue
rich stuff,
gold.
blue gold, exactly. So Eve sees the doctor struggling to open the book of the dead, and like
She's like, "You
contains
need a
her
key.
excitement.
I think you need a key.
Oh, that needs a key to open it.
You don't have it though.
And the Americans come in with these gut vases, like talking
They're
about this
all-
gooey mummy they found, like shaking up the fucking
Is this for
dried
cocktails?
spleens.
Let's make martinis.
And Eve's got something else she found: scarab skeletons.
Oh, look at this shit. It was in there with that juicy skeleton. So why are they dry, but
right?
he's still wet?
They're all dried out.
And do they like dry out like nuts like that? Like nuts?
Is it because he was buried alive? Maybe he lasted longer?
I
Or
don't
'cause
know,
he
but
was-
you would have thought 3,000 years. They
And
done
scarabs?
decimated that corpse and died. Like everything should be dry.
Desiccated. Everything should be gone.
Yeah. So anyway, so they were in the coffin. She's talking about what a bad guy he must have been for them to have
Right.
done the Hom-Dai,
Yes.
and that if he should survive, he will bring with him the 10 plagues of Egypt.
Yeah.
Cut to the doctor sleeping with the
Again,
Book of
so
the Dead.
you know this?
I guess she just doesn't believe it, which like I've never
She
seen
does, but
anything
She doesn't.
really, really paranormal happen, so I can see like being
I've seen Evil Dead.
skeptical about it
That's
and being
it. I've seen Evil Dead.
yeah, that it's like fairy tales, like
Oh,
that you don't
maybe.
think it's real. If you've never seen anything crazy like that happen,
Well, because they didn't have those movies back then.
you
I
just
guess
think,
I have
oh,
the
you
benefit.
dumb old Egyptians, so superstitious.
Whack-a-doodle addiction. You're
Believe in
delicious,
gods
though.
and fucking.
You're so tasty.
You're beautiful, but
beautiful
dumb.
and delicious.
So yeah, so she's cut to the doctor sleeping with the book, and she comes over and just takes it right out of his
Yep.
hands and brings
Yoink.
it back to her campsite.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick's like, "That's called stealing, you know."
Oh.
And he's like, "Hey, I thought that book was made of gold." And she's like, "Well, but this is something else.
This is
is
the
not
Book of
the
the
Amun
Dead.
Ra book. Yeah,
this is
the Book of the Dead."
Necronomicon.
So she opens it with the key,
Yeah.
and again,
He's
wins.
like, that happens a lot.
It
Which-
does.
Does
does.
that not worry you?
And nobody got sand in their eyes in this whole movie.
They all went straight to their crack. That's what that wind do.
And so she starts like reading it. Amun
Out
Ra,
loud.
Amun Day. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then
Hey,
cut to the
day,
mummy
rickety
waking
day.
up, and the doctor
Right.
like, no, you must not
What the
read
fuck?
from the book.
You know what? For like a split second, this asshole must have felt all kinds of validated because this wacky broad brought among the plagues
Right?
of Egypt.
What
Oh.
is she doing?
Oh, you mixed up cuckoo broad.
So everyone wakes up because something is starting, and there's like a
Yes.
giant wave of, is it grasshoppers or locusts? Okay,
Locusts.
come for them. They run inside the crypt. What have we done?
Yeah.
The American with glasses loses his glasses and gets left behind.
Fucking nightmare.
And now
Who the fuck do
he
you
took
think
the eyes of the guy who needed glasses.
Was he nearsighted now?
I just realized that. I don't have a note about that, but it just occurred to me.
Because I really thought hard about this whole scene.
He
because
can't
this
see
is like a fucking
anything
nightmare
down
to
the
me.
hall, and these are the eyes the mummy takes.
He doesn't know. He doesn't
can't.
know. I know.
Of
It's
all the
fucking
people
blurry.
whose
He had
eyes
to,
they took?
he had to upgrade
So
eyes.
everything was blurry for Imhotep from
And
here
that's
on
how
out.
come he thought what's her tits was the Anck Su Namun.
Exactly.
Because he couldn't fucking see her.
He couldn't see her
When,
straight.
like, you see how blurry
Holy
that shit
shit.
is? Like, that's how blurry. Like, I can't see shit. I cannot see shit. I'd mistake her too.
Exactly.
All I
He
saw
answered
was
the question
titties.
about the penis. If he didn't think about the eyeballs, he probably didn't.
Oh,
think about the
about
penis.
the
Yeah,
penis.
so he wasn't thinking about the quality. Well, and he ain't getting another dude's penis. I think it's just letting him regrow his own penis. So, like, I think maybe, he just it
got
let
to
him
regrow eyes.
his eyes because he didn't take on
Okay.
the traits physically of anybody
That's
who thinks
true.
he took.
Just
He
looked
just
like
turned back into
himself.
himself.
Okay.
All right,
All
right,
right,
fine,
okay.
fine.
I'm so glad you made
We
sense.
talked ourselves out of it. So the mummy's backing Eve up into the corner. Come with me, my princess.
I
And
know.
Rick comes up like,
Hey,
and her brother comes up. The Americans come, and the mummy screams, and Rick screams. And they run out, and the bodyguards are out there with the doctor. And they're like, we told you, leave or die. And now you killed us all.
I know. Like, what the fuck? There's locusts and shit, y'all. This is a plague.
No mortal weapon can kill this creature. He is not of this world.
Nope. And, oh, by the way, we found your guy.
And he's
He
got no eyes.
Got no eyes.
So they're like, they go to, they tell him leave while they go to kill him. And Rick's like, I already got him. Because he shot him in there while he
He's
was like
what
sand
did
or
I
something.
just fucking
He's
say?
like, you can't kill him with
What
a
did
gun,
I
bitch.
just? You just saw a mummy rise from the dead, and you think just because you fucking shot it, Stoops.
He's the creature. He's the bringer of death. He never eats. He never sleeps. He never stops.
Nope.
Benny, meanwhile, is still lost inside, and he backs right up into Imhotep.
Uh-oh.
And he tries to use his crucifix to protect him. Doesn't work. Tries
Nope.
to use his like Star of David. Tries
Nope.
to use it. He has like
Well, no,
every
he-
religious
he
symbol.
finally gets to the Star of David and speaks
Oh, that's right.
Hebrew,
The
and
Star of
he's like-
David works.
Imhotep's like, oh, wait, oh, shit, I know that.
The language of the slaves.
I could use you.
And the rewards
I
will
like
be
you.
great. And he shows them a handful of gold.
Right. I know. Where'd he pull that out from? His butt locker?
Again, butt
his-
lockers feature heavily in the Mummy, just so you know. So he wants the other sacred
have
jars.
discovered
And why does he
25
need the
years
other
old.
sacred jars? He be absorbing everybody else's fresh organs. Why
I
you want
know.
your
Why do you
dusty
want
own
your old-
organs?
I don't know what that's for. Is
Just
it because
memories.
he could be like pick a destiny when like the Satan needed this little piece to be complete? Like he needs to be
Maybe.
complete?
Maybe. So Benny's like my prince, and he wants, cut the other sacred jars, cut to the Americans all leaving, and this hand erupting from the sand, and that's like
Uh-oh.
the end right there.
Right.
And before we finish this movie,
Yeah.
it is time for another break.
Double breaker, baby.
After these messages,
We'll be right back.
we are back.
We're back.
We're on Camelback.
We're
Back
back,
to
on
Cairo.
Camelback to Cairo.
And Rick's trying to pack up, but Eve's like, no, we got to stop Imhotep. And he's like,
Right.
how? No mortal weapons can
He's
kill
packing,
this guy.
she's unpacking.
Yeah. And she's like, well, we're going to have to find some immortal weapons then. He's
Right.
like, that's not my problem.
I know. She's like, well, I did this. At least she recognizes that. And, now
she's
I
like,
have
and
to
now
stop
it's
it.
everyone's problem.
Well-
because he's about to fucking demolish humanity.
Right.
So the last of the Royal Air Force is stumbling around this, I don't know, what
It's
is
like
this? A cafe or a
It's like
oasis?
very, was it like Casablanca's?
And he runs into Rick. They know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan's in there. The Americans show up talking about leaving. And Rick's like, how's your friend?
Yeah. And he was like, oh, his eyes is gone.
And his tongue, how'd you be?
Yeah.
Cut to Benny introducing Blind Guy to Imhotep.
Yeah. He was like, oh, hey.
Like, we didn't take enough from you.
Right?
Let
He
me just
came
get
back
the
to
rest.
Finish the fucking job like he's
Leftovers.
the crocodile from fucking Peter Pan. He liked the taste of him so well. That's whose dick
did.
he wanted.
That he just wanted all that man's parts.
He was like, you got the best parts. I want all your juicy parts.
Prince Imhotep thanks you for your hospitality in your eyes and your tongue, but I'm
He's like,
afraid more is needed.
Oh, no.
Your dick.
Your dick.
The prince must finish the job and consummate the curse which you and your friends brought down upon yourselves.
So he's going to need your fluids.
And so he reveals his face, and the blind man screams, which, how did he see
Well,
his
I know,
face?
I was
He's
like, why
blind.
is he screaming? He can't see shit. I mean, I
can't
know
see
he'd be
nothing.
upset because he knows who it is, but why is he screaming when he took it out? He sees himself through his own eyes?
No, maybe.
That'd be fucked up.
That would be fucked up. So downstairs, Rick and the boys are about to take a shot, and it's blood. Oh, the waters are blood.
Oh, shit. All the plagues that we forgot about those.
And Eve's out reading, walking around when Rick runs up like, hey, we got
gotta go.
problems.
Oh, you're still here?
Problem.
Plural.
Plural. Cut to the storm and fire shooting whatever fucking
Right, it's like a
asteroids from the
fire
sky.
haboob.
And they find the blind man just as a husk, and Imhotep is regenerating.
Oh, no.
And he's like, we're in serious trouble.
Right, he starts like shooting at him, and he's like, comes bop, 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 bop. And
I don't
like,
do nothing.
Nope. Like, why? Okay. I mean, I know you probably don't have any other ideas, but it's clearly not doing anything. Why do
No.
you continue? Run.
Run away. So Rick's, after he shoots at him, Jonathan and the Americans come in and he throws them into them, and Imhotep turns to Eve and says, you saved me from the undead, I thank you.
She's Captain Save-A-Ho.
And the cat steps onto the piano.
Oh,
'Cause
fuck.
There's
And
a
he's
cat
like,
there. And he's
"Brrrah,"
like,
into
I turned to sand.
I turned to sand. He's like really allergic.
Very, very, very. Back at the Museum of Antiquities, the head of the bodyguards is there with Eve's boss.
Oh shit, Bay and Bay. Oh, you guys.
Oh my goodness. They're both part of the secret society of Bay.
Secret.
And Rick asks about this cat, and he's like, oh yeah, he's going to fear them until he's fully
They're
regenerated.
the guardians
like,
of the underworld.
yeah. And also, he's going to kill everyone who opened that chest.
Yep.
And Eve's like, well, he called me his mistress's name and tried to kiss me.
And they're like, oh.
Oh, so you're his human sacrifice.
Yeah,
Just
he's
BT
already picked
dubs.
you out, so you better just, there's really nothing you could do.
And
He's-
actually, now we can use you as bait.
great idea.
And now his powers are growing.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the curses start to come
eclipse
to
or
life.
whatever, like,
Eclipse is happening. Egypt goes dark.
yep.
And Rick and Eve go to find out who all opened this chest. And she won't stay, so he picks her up over his shoulder and carries her into the room because he's like, you stay here while I go
She's
do
like,
this.
no,
And
I'm
she's like,
going.
no.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you all watch her. You come with me. You two watch her. The Ron Perlman looking motherfucker has to stay there.
Yeah. And he puts that man on guard. And then Rick takes her brother and leaves. And Dr. Jumanji is out there in the streets with the book being hunted by Imhotep. I couldn't
Jumanji.
remember his name.
Right. Well, they go to find him, right?
Yeah. And Benny's at his place looking for this book because everybody's looking still for this book.
Right.
that he's
Everybody's
got.
looking around.
You came back from the desert with a new friend, didn't you? That's when Rick corners Benny. Like,
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, you're my
You're
only
my only
friend. What are you
friend."
talking about? And he tells him it's better to be the right hand of the devil than in his path.
Well,
And as long as I serve him, I'm immune.
yep.
And he's like, from what? Well, I don't want to tell you. You're just going to hurt me more.
Right.
So he puts his head up by the ceiling
Oh, I
fan.
know,
Like,
and
yeah,
like
I
that
am going to
fan-
fucking hurt you more.
That fan gets really aggressive, like as soon as he puts him up there. Like that fan was nondescript until he threatens him with
Yep.
it.
And so he wants the book. He's something about bringing his dead girlfriend back to life.
Right. He just wants the book and like
Your
your
sister,
sister.
he tells Jonathan. So Rick throws Benny out the window and screaming ensues.
Of course.
And down below, the doctor is dead and Imhotep has his gut vase back.
Right. He's like collecting his bits and getting stronger.
And everything is all put together except for like the bottom half of his face.
Right. He still has like that weird mouth thing.
And he
going on.
opens his mouth and that like swarm of flies or whatever comes out. Ugh,
And
all over
how
crowd.
the fuck? So like all of these things are happening. They're looking around. Evelyn is locked up in this room. How is she sleeping?
How did she even fall asleep to begin with, let alone just sleeping
Like,
peacefully
tucked
through
in?
this thing?
It's like when Mina goes and she's just sleeping in the asylum with that
Yes. How did you sleep in the asylum?
like right?
And you got into your pajamas to do this?
And those crusty sheets.
Ugh.
Who knows what the sheet situation is in here? Whose place is that? It's
I
just
don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
So another one of the Americans with another set of guts is left
He
alone.
like leaves it there on the fucking seat. Did they not explain to them
What's happening
the
right now?
importance
Why he's
of
after
what is
you?
happening?
And he goes to the window because he hears something or there's a breeze, but he sees nothing. And then he's attacked by sand.
Oh shit!
And we see his shadow up in the air and then
Mm-hmm.
sand and then Imhotep who's almost complete except for it's just still these
Right,
like
his mouth thing. He
ooh,
like
and that scarab comes out and he
oh, I
chews
know
it
and he
up.
like oh no
Why?
no
Crunch.
because he's a
Crunched
mummy.
it up.
And this is when he like becomes sand and like
Yes,
sneaks
and
through
pours
the,
through her lock, which is also a very Dracula,
very much so
the mist moment.
Uh-huh, when
Yeah.
he turns into the fart. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
like is she bewitched? Maybe.
maybe.
When this movie came out, this was the start of Universal wanting to bring back all the
Oh, this was when Universal was trying to bring back the
Oh, like the
classic
mommy,
monsters.
the
Okay. Did you say the
Draculas,
mommy?
the mommy, the poppy, the Santa Maria.
S-A-N-G-E-A.
The Santa Maria.
Sangre Maria.
So yeah, he sits on her bed and calls her by the princess's name and kisses her. And
Ooh, with his nasty rot mouth.
his mouth gets all fucking disgusting and Rick busts in, hey, get your ugly face off of her.
Right, but he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna come at you. But he's like, oh no,
Ooh,
wait,
but I got
brought this pussy.
Pussy!
Pussy saves, y'all. Pussy
He's scared of the
saves.
pussy.
He don't need it.
He turns back to sand and goes out the window. So cut to them pulling up outside this museum again.
Mm-hmm.
And Eve thinks if that black book has brought him back, then we got to read from that gold book to
Right.
stop him.
That could kill him. They're like, do you think so? She's like, I don't know. I guess. That sounds about right.
And they hear chanting from outside. Imhotep, Imhotep. And these dudes are all, they got the sores and the boils.
He's like, oh, my favorite plague. The boils and the sores.
It's the beginning of the end. And Eve's like, not
She's
yet.
like, just wait. Like, it's not, maybe not yet.
And Eve's reading about where the gold book is and that they're all mixed up with where
Right.
they're buried, that it was like a trick.
Exactly. And she's like, oh, so if this was under Anubis, then the book of gold or whatever should be under the statue of Horus.
So Jonathan runs to the car and is accosted by men.
Goes out there like,
Imhotep. He just, pretends to be one of the
That's
zombies.
pretty good. That's
it works.
pretty good.
It works. And Benny's shouting for Imhotep as he sees them getting in the car. Rick
Right.
tells Benny, "You're gonna get yours."
He's like, everybody always tells me that.
I've never heard this before.
Right.
So the men chase them out and they're blocking the road. And Rick pushes the pedal down and makes Jonathan
Right?
like
He's
floor
like,
it
"Just
through all these dudes.
Drive through them. And the American dude like falls off the back.
Yeah, they get the last American. He shoots a bunch of them, but there's too many
Well,
and not enough bullets.
He should have saved the last one for himself. 'Cause
Exactly.
Here come Imhoteps.
And he hands him back his vase, but he's like, I'm still eating your ass.
I want your nipples.
And he takes his nipples to finalize his look. So cut to the rest of them crashing
That's
the
why
car.
he didn't have that shit open until later because he had to.
He had to wait for the nipples to
collect
be
the nipples.
complete.
It's
You don't want to
true.
see scarabs running around
No.
behind his nipples.
Ooh, like little scarab nipple pasties, though. That might be a cute look.
It's shiny. I do love a color of the
I
scarab.
do like the. Yeah, it's blue gold.
Blue gold. So they crash the car and they're trying to run on foot from the crowd. And they again, Imhotep,
Yeah.
and he comes up. He's fully regenerated and he wants Eve.
Yes.
And he puts his hand out to her.
And Benny's over there translating, and Eve is correcting his
Yes.
translation.
And she tells Rick, think fast, because if he turns me into a mummy, I'm coming back for you first.
Right. So there's still a chance that you guys can save me because you know what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go with him so nobody else dies right now.
So she goes with him, and Imhotep's like, by the way, kill them all.
Right.
Even though I said I'll save your friends if you come with
I
me.
was just kidding.
Kill
I
'em
lied.
all.
Well, and this is also very much like that first scene where she's like, only you can resurrect me, or like, only you can save me. So, like, I'll go.
Well, and like in the story that we got, Imhotep is not supposed to necessarily be a bad guy, except for that he fell in love with the Pharaoh's wife.
His only crime was love.
So
love
I
crimes.
don't know why he feels like he needs to be evil now.
Well,
Like,
because
he
he's
wasn't
really
evil
pissed
as
off
a-
from being buried alive with scarabs. He was scarabed alive.
I mean, you did kill the Pharaoh and fuck his wife. I don't know what to tell you, bruv. That was the times. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? You remember the
Right in his
time?
face
Oh.
when we first met, girl.
So luckily, Rick pulls up this sewer grate, which I
I know,
guess
which
they
just
already had
happens when they
Teenage
had,
Mutant Ninja Turtle times then.
I
They
was wondering
disappear
that
inside.
myself. There was underground plumbing at
Apparently,
Hamunaptra. No, wait, they were not there. They
no,
were in
they were. They
Cairo.
were in Cairo.
Okay, so maybe. Okay, all right. Okay.
Way ahead of the curve with everything.
I mean,
That's
it's
true. Egypt was way ahead of the times.
Sure,
in,
it's
like,
a real place.
yeah, in architecture and whatnot.
I know this.
I know this because it's a real place and it's got real architecture.
Real people, it really exists. Who was it?
Living,
our other friend
working.
Beth was just in.
Oh,
Little blonde Beth.
No, she went.
She went to the Sahara
Yes,
and
she had-
posted these photos. And I'm sorry, I could never see that desert without thinking of Spaceballs
I want a
because of the
gigantic
natural like lines in the dunes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just think of combing the desert. We ain't found shit.
We ain't found shit.
We gotta do Spaceballs is on the list, right?
Spaceballs is on the list, and Spaceballs is as close we gonna get.
That's yep. So you know what.
You know what?
So now Rick and Jonathan go to the airfield and find Winston,
Yep.
the drunken Air Force captain,
He's
with an
got, like,
umbrella and a record player
He's
and
got
his
like
tea.
a whole situation.
He's
where-
got he's living the fucking life
I
out
know,
here.
but he's like bored as fuck. He's like So what's this got to do with Her Majesty? They're like, nothing. He was like, oh, word? So what are we going to do? And Rick is like, we got to save a damsel in distress, kill a bad guy, and save the world. He's
I'm
like,
on it.
Let's go.
So Winston flies with Jonathan, and so we get a Three Amigos moment on the plane here.
And fucking fine ass, what's his tits with the tattoo face is having the time of his fucking life.
He loves it.
Woo!
Jonathan is freaked the fuck out,
No.
but the other dude is so into this.
No.
And Eve and Beni are thrown from the stand. Oh, there's a sandstorm. They're thrown from the sandstorm.
And that's how they travel? That like just he travels via Dust Devil?
I guess.
And this is when he comes out like all with this little fit and his fawn.
What's the Darude Sandstorm?
Oh.
What is that song? Yes, that one. We need to clip this and put the fucking music behind it of just the Mummy Sandstorm with Darude Sandstorm behind it. So they're thrown from the sandstorm. It reforms into Imhotep. They see the plane overhead, and O'Connell smiles. She smiles like at him, like. And Imhotep is pissed, and he turns the solid ground into this wall of sand to block or push them the other way.
Chase them with the whole the sand face. Like this part's kind of rad.
But Winston does a nosedive before it hits them, and this huge face comes out of it and smiles. And Rick's shooting at it. And roars and it just swallows them up. Right?
Sand.
It's just sand.
And it like swallows them up and whatever. And then Evie goes over there and distracts Imhotep by laying a smooch.
Yes.
On his mouth.
And they survive the crash, and except for Winston, who dies with a smile.
He loved it.
His plane sinks down into the quicksand.
How poetic.
They head inside, and Eve tells Beni, nasty little fellows like you always get their comeuppance.
Always? Always.
And outside, the boys are trying to get the entrance all figured out.
Right,
and Jonathan notices there's more of these jeweled scarabs. And he tries to take one off.
Foolish. And it crawls into his bits, into his arm, and fucking Rick goes over there and
scoops it out with his knife.
Slice.
Ooh, you got lucky.
And he shoots it, and that's again like Evelyn's all, ooh.
Yes, and Imhotep hears the shot, and he blows some more sand and says a spell, and here come more mummies out of the wall. And they're at his service, and he sends them to kill everybody. And Rick and the boys get in, and Rick clocks one of those mirrors that's letting the light in and shoots it.
Oh, I remember. And how does this one work?
And he just happens to shoot it at the right angle where it now illuminates the whole cavern.
Girl.
I don't know.
He be Jones in the Indianas, I'm telling you.
And Beni finds the treasure room and is like, ooh!
Yeah, like it's gold. He's like, don't touch that shit.
Meanwhile, Eve's tied to this like sacrificial board, and this rat crawling on her, and the princess's body is next to her.
A rat in the middle of the goddamn desert.
Rats get everywhere, girl.
Well,
I got me a
Ratatouille.
Rats get everywhere. Oh, fair enough. Okay.
And Rick lights some dynamite and shuts the priest inside. Benny's out there trying to drag out his body weight in gold and take off on a camel.
Right, but he's too greedy. He can't stop.
And the dead priests surround Eve and kneel, and Imhotep's like stroking his woman's face and reading the book to do his spell.
Right, he's like getting started. He's doing all this shit.
And Rick and Jonathan are trying to still fucking get the book, other book, and they get the box out, and Benny's like, oh, I'm having second thoughts.
Right, well that, and then the one dude, Bay, goes all ham, right? Like he's all, you guys saved the world. Is this where they're taking the thing? And he goes out? Yes,
and it throws himself into the fray. And so Rick throws another stick of dynamite and they head into the hole that it makes.
Right, and there we see that Anck Su Namun, like she do wake up.
And she's starting to re-enter her own corpse and screams.
And that, like, the dead waters.
Yeah, again, the Pharaoh fluids all riled up.
Pharaoh fluids, that's it.
And she enters her corpse and screams. She looks at Eve and screams, with your death, she shall live and I shall be invincible, Imhotep says.
Yeah.
And he goes to stab her when Jonathan comes in with the book.
Oh shit!
And
He
she's
goes-
like, open it, find the inscription.
Right. And he's and when whatever, because again I had my sub titties on, like when Imhotep turns around, I was like, there's an Egyptian word for O'Connell. Because when he turns around, like I don't know.
He didn't say O'Connell.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it said O'Connell, but it said speaking Egyptian. I was like, there's an Egyptian word for O'Connell.
Interesting.
But I feel like she might have said it. 'Cause
Oh,
it didn't
maybe.
say Evelyn says, Imhotep says.
Okay.
It's just whatever. So somebody else was speaking Egyptian, but at the time it just looked funny. I was like, oh, there's a word for that.
So Rick chops the chains off her wrists and
Mm-hmm.
ankles, all but one. She's still like chained on one wrist.
Because the mummies come out and he's like, mummies. Psh.
Psh, and a mummy arm crawls out for the sword.
Oh, no.
And he grabs the hand that grabs the sword and he cuts the mummy off at the ankles.
Oh, shit. And he's down, but he's not out.
And Eve's free. Jonathan's trying to read this inscription. More mummy soldiers come in.
Well, he wakes up the mummy guards now. And
Yeah.
if he finishes that thing, then he can
you can command them
right.
if you finish reading this passage.
But he's got to finish it first, because right now they're under Imhotep's control.
So he finishes the inscription and they now report to Jonathan.
Yep.
And Imhotep is trying to command them and they're like,
He's all,
ignoring
no,
him.
you got to fuck-cush this bitch up, because he says something about fuck up this bitch.
So Jonathan orders them after the princess and she dies again.
Yes, like Imhotep has to watch his tomato get cut up again.
Again. And
In
Imhotep
silhouette
tells
on the
Jonathan, now
same
you
fucking
die,
wall.
but Rick comes up and just chops his fucking arm off.
Right?
And he throws Rick across the room, reattaches his arm.
Yeah, because that was easy.
But Jonathan got the key and he calls Evie over.
Because he's a pickpocket. He picked his pockets.
Yes, he did.
So then he's all parrot goose. And now,
Imhotep opens his mouth to swallow Rick,
oh shit.
but she finds the passage and reads it.
Uh-oh.
And we get real Darby O'Gill vibes coming on right now.
This fucking, what do you call that?
Carries him off in the death carriage to.
Yeah, but what do you call not the carriage, but the gladiator thing?
Oh,
What do you call that shit?
fuck, I don't know, man.
Oh, fuck. Wow. Anyway, they go and take his ass, and it's like, bye, but he's not gone.
No.
But now, bitch is mortal.
Yes.
So
and
he gets
so
whack.
Rick just, fucking stabs him
Stabs
in
him
the
up.
guts.
And then he goes into the Pharaoh fluid.
And death is only the beginning, he says.
What is it? Death is but a window. I'll be back.
And Benny's still trying to cart out some treasure.
I know, because he
But he
cannot
sets his
stop.
bag on a booby trap.
Oh, shit.
And he won't abandon his gold to make it out alive.
Well, no,
Sand's
now
pouring
everybody,
in.
like,
they're all
"We gotta
trying to
the
get
fuck
out.
of here." So now they got to get out. They're running. Benny's right behind them. They're trying to get everybody out. But Benny,
He gets trapped in the treasure room.
and now it's scarab time.
Yes, no light but his torch, and with a million scarabs ready to tear him apart.
What? Chariot. That's
Yes,
it.
a chariot. The outside is also falling apart. Everyone's trying to escape.
They're
the
running
sand's
out.
collapsing under their feet.
It's sinking into the sand.
And the bodyguard scares the shit out of them because he lived. They're like,
Right? They're
"Ah,"
like, where
'cause
the
he's
fuck
still
did you
alive.
come from? How did you get all the way out here and already on camelbacks?
And he's like, you've earned my respect and gratitude, and may Allah smile upon you
Right.
always.
Anytime you're out this way, look me up.
So
and off
Rick's
he
like-
goes.
He's like, oh, we have to go home up and empty-handed. And Rick's like, I wouldn't say that.
Ooh, and they kiss.
Oh, please.
Oh.
He asked the camel for a kissy wissy.
I know.
And they have the treasure
But they don't know
that
it.
Benny had already loaded onto the camel,
I
which,
I
they
know,
don't
I was
realize.
Like, so
it's
did like the treasure camels die when they were all
yeah,
running
no,
out? And I
those
was
are,
like, oh,
they
no,
took
they
Benny's
made
treasure camels.
It. Yep.
And
So
that is
now-
the end.
That is the end. They ride off into the literal sunset.
And this is a good movie.
It
I
is.
mean, I
It's
wouldn't
so
give
much
it.
fun.
I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
I do. I enjoy watching it. I
like I
the
said,
little,
it's got a little bit of everything.
yeah.
But then I watched The Mummy Returns.
Well,
because
it came
it
back.
has the original cast plus The Rock. It was 2 years later.
Also, The Rock. They have a child.
I did not look up anything. It just came on after on Peacock. So it
Right.
opens with The Rock as the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
But he's not part scorpion in the
No,
beginning
not
part,
yet.
whatever, not yet. And it's the premise is The premise is that it's still this couple. It's Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz,
They've
and now they
gotten
have an
married.
8-year-old child. And they take him
All in their adventures.
to go on these digs.
He's
and
like that little kid of what's her fucking from Stargate. That thieving little girl.
Exactly. And so they take him, and like, even though they know for a fact that these curses are real, and we almost died,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's take our 8-year-old,
Sure, that's fine. Like he could probably read some
and try
fucking
to find out
inscription.
about this Scorpion King.
Yeah.
And then when the
Mysterious.
Scorpion King's resurrected, guess what? We're gonna need to resurrect fucking Imhotep to fight the Scorpion
You
King.
can only fight a mummy with a mummy.
And like, so my note is just this is all I wrote after watching it. The Mummy Returns, all OG cast. Only 3 years later, why did it suck? The Rock, but barely. So like he has almost no speaking lines. I feel like he
don't
may
think
have
he
no
I think he
speaking
just
lines.
grunts.
He just goes,
Yeah. He just kind of grunts and growls a little bit.
and in the end, he's all CGI.
it's so bad.
And my first question is, how did a Pacific Islander get to Egypt? Because The Rock is so clearly a Pacific
how the
Islander.
fuck is Jonathan and Evelyn half Egyptian?
That's also true.
I would
don't-
also like to
yeah.
know that.
And also, there's an animated series that ran for
Which
2
I
seasons
had
of The Mummy of the
no
Carnahans
idea.
and their son, which is also available on Peacock.
Wow. Well, sounds like I got my work cut out for me.
So yeah, I don't know that The Mummy doomed me in any way.
No,
It's
I just
a
enjoy
movie
it.
I
It's a fun.
enjoy.
It's a theme that I like. I like a little adventure.
Yeah, totally.
Nice, clean adventure. Little family
Absolutely.
movie. And Brendan Fraser. And what's his butt? And the other guy. They're all hot.
Yeah.
What's weird is Mummy Returns was written by the same guy.
Mummy Returns was written by the
Was
same
it directed
person
by the same person?
and
Really?
directed by the same person.
Was it like a slash
It's that
budget?
pressure of when you have something
sophomore
that's a hit,
release, yeah.
where you're like pressured to like, we have to find a story that fits with this. And they really tried. Like, I got very, what was it, young Indiana Jones
Yes.
vibes.
Well, it had all
but
of
it did
that.
a thing where like they didn't make the kid really a hero. Like he was
No.
in it, but like other than shooting slingshots at like the bad guys, he didn't really
I feel
do
like it
anything
was just
crazy.
natural progression.
And it
They
was
could've
so
just not
hard
had
for me to
kids.
believe that you would go through all this before you had children and know this is all real and that these curses are real, and that you would bring your 8-year-old kid and leave him like alone in this dig site to go.
Right. You know, like
Yeah, it was-
quicksand is a thing. Fucking
I didn't get it.
The
mummy
first one,
murder
though,
is a
had, like,
thing.
7 writers.
Oh, the first one had
Yeah.
7
And
writers.
The second one, in addition to the original Mummy,
Okay.
was
Yeah.
in 1932. But the second one, the director Stephen Sommers is the only person that wrote it.
Oh.
So I
Well,
wonder
is
if the
Okay.
other writers made the first one better.
is that the same? Is it like the same story as the Boris Karloff
The
mummy?
1932.
Oh,
The
okay.
release of it. So they're crediting that, and then they built
Oh.
off of it.
And I have to
Because
say,
I haven't seen that in a long time.
my 16, almost 17-year-old watched this with me.
Mhm.
He couldn't resist. He was in the room playing a game, and once it started,
like,
he
well,
kept turning around, and
'cause
finally
it's
he just turned off the game and
irresistible.
watched it, and he really enjoyed it.
It is irresistible.
And his one comment, which I forgot to say, which was, so when Egypt was supposed to go dark with the eclipse, it like lasted like 30 minutes. It was like so that was the plague,
Right.
was that Egypt was supposed to go dark.
Right.
So the rest of the movie should have been them trying to battle this dude in the dark.
That's true.
But it was just a regular solar eclipse. Like it just only lasted as long as an eclipse
Well, that's
lasts.
probably what they thought that shit was when eclipse did happen. They
True.
were like, oh my God.
True. But yeah, but he did enjoy it. But then when I said, "Oh, I'm going to turn on the sequel. It's all the same cast." He watched like the first 5
like, "I'm
minutes
outta
and he
here."
just came back later and was like, "Was it good?" And I was like,
Like,
"No."
no, you didn't miss anything.
He didn't miss
It's a classic film. Classic film.
Yeah. So we have a few different messages today.
Ooh.
The first one we have is an email from Leo Allen, who has left us lots of messages. This isn't Scat Cat Leo. This is
No,
the
this is the other
This is the
Leo.
other Leo. Hey, Doomers. Yet another John Hughes favorite. This is about 16 Candles. Yet another John Hughes
Assumed.
favorite that brings back so many memories. However, we were a bit shocked when one evening we thought, hey, let's watch this funny movie from our past with our kids. Yikes. Had to shut it down quick. Took me years to realize something about these types of Hughes films. Simply put, these are teenage thoughts said out loud, especially the thoughts of teenage boys. Homophobic, misogynist, sexist, horny, and sometimes racist, and almost always plain stupid. Yep, these things often run through the heads of teens as stupid jokes and scenarios. Imagine capturing that nonsense on film. I don't think Hughes meant to be malicious. He was simply saying, look at what these idiots are thinking about, LOL. Keep up the great work, ladies. Wish I could catch your live streams, but stupid time zones. Later, Zoomers. I almost said Zoomers.
Zoomers.
They were fucking Gen Z.
Surly not.
Surly not.
Surly not Zoomers.
And then we have a voicemail. Hold on. Let me get to it.
Let me get it.
Let me get to it. And now, I'm sorry, Jason. I'm gonna have to explain this because it was so funny to me. So, listener Jason Coslet left a voicemail. Oops, I accidentally almost just tried to call him on Google Voice just now, trying to listen to the
And he's
voicemail.
gonna
Sorry,
answer
Jason. I
Just
was
like
not
you
trying to
want
call
to
you.
do when we accidentally
Oops.
call.
So I get a text message today. This is Thursday. That says, hey, Tessa and Nicole, I very much want to apologize for my previous voicemail. I do prefer Grease 2 over Grease. I grew up with Grease 2. Love the movie, love the music, but I feel like I went a lot overboard, and I'm sorry. You in no way, shape, or form have to air that. I have no excuse. Too many mushrooms, not enough sleep, I guess. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for putting up with me as long as you have. Have a great weekend, ladies. Peace and love, Jason Coslet. So I thought it was that voicemail from
that
the
was
third-year
garbled.
anniversary episode that we couldn't understand. And I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
it was
that
you.
makes sense.
But then I go into the voicemails and realize I've totally missed a voicemail from Sunday of this week. And I listened to it, and I don't understand what he's apologizing for, but I'm going to play the message for you because to me it makes me laugh, and
it's funny.
it's not offensive to me. So here we go.
Hey, it is Jason Coslet, recent convert, so on. You guys thrilled me so much, I actually had to leave you a fucking message. Just listen to the episode on Grease 2. Sad but true. I saw this one before the first Grease, and I love it. I will cut a motherfucker over it. Yes. I am sorry. Michelle Pfeiffer outdoes Olivia Newton-John. God rest her soul. She fucking died a virgin. Jesus Christ. She died a fucking virgin. I'm so sorry. Olivia Newton-John. Love her to death. Love her music. Not sexy. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Not sexy.
I'm sure she takes it in all holes every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Be that as it may, though. Yes. Love Grease 2. Love it. Thank you so much for talking about it. I loved the episode. Keep up the good work, ladies. Have a good day.
So I love that voicemail.
that
I
was
have
fine
absolutely
with
no
me.
problem with
Thank
that
you.
voicemail. I was entertained by that voicemail.
And
I got
twice
no
on
issues with
Sundays.
that. And twice on Sunday. And then we have one text message from Rob K that came through while we were recording this
Right
episode.
as we were, it's fresh. It's so fresh.
And he says, hello, ladies. Big fan here. And I was just listening to the Popeye episode. 28 minutes in, you're talking about the connection between Robin Williams and the birdcage. And I was wondering if you remember the scene in The Adventures of Baron Munchausen where Robin Williams is a floating head and the Baron is in a big birdcage. Wild connections. I'm behind on the episodes because I had to go through a divorce. Sorry. But on either side of it, I've had you guys bringing me laughs. So thankful for what you guys do. Keep up the great work, Rob K. So yes, I feel like I don't think we made the connection during those episodes of the birdcage, but maybe we did. But we've done Baron Munchausen. We've done the birdcage.
Yep.
And yeah, so
And
if we
also-
did, those connections will be available in those episodes if we were
Popeye.
aware
That
of
was
them.
the other
Oh
one.
yeah,
I was like,
Popeye.
what was the fucking other one?
Oh, so again, we've gone extra long this time
Long
on the
dong
mummy.
diggity dang dang.
Long dong diggity dang dang. Lawn duck dong.
Lawn duck Dong.
And so until next week.
We'll talk at you next time.
Later, Doomers.